Okay.
Let's just bring a couch in here.
I know. Actually, I think that'd be good. I like
that couch is right there.
I mean, if we could do everything on the couch. Hello, everybody. This is the Bear Fight Podcast. We just decided that it's called the Bear Fight Podcast.
Hi, everybody.
This is our movie podcast. Who knows how often we will do it. But basically, we just choose a movie. We watch it sober and separately. And then we come together. We drink a bunch beforehand. Pretty drunk. And then we review it. And this week, we're doing The Good DInosaur. Or as I like to call it, Lion King 2. This time with dinosaurs.
It's a Pixar movie, so you figure... Wait, it's a Disney too, right?
Yeah,
Disney Pixar. So you figure somebody's gonna die.
And you're gonna cry.
For sure. Someone's gonna die,
and you're gonna cry.
It's gonna be sad. You're gonna be sad about it.
It rhymes, so you know it's the truth. What was the dinosaur's name? Arlo.
Okay, let's
Wait, you just watched it. You had to recall what his name was.
From here on in, by the way, spoiler alert, we're going to talk about The Good DInosaur.
The whole movie.
Spoilers.
A lot of spoilers. So if you haven't seen it and you want to real bad and care about what this dinosaur does, stop watching. Or just don't. We all watched it this week. G-Babies watched it a little bit ago. But Mark just finished it, and I watched it the other day.
Well, yeah, I watched it in the movies, and then I rewatched it at home, which is just a way better experience.
What was your
For
initial feeling?
G-Babies. G-Baby, you watched it in 3D too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't do that. It makes me want to die.
It gives me a headache.
I watched it in 3D. And I had a little bit of a high quality video.
Okay.
What were your immediate thoughts at like the first beginning?
So, I watched it in the movie with a 1-year-old. So,
Was it your 1-year-old?
No.
You got a
Whose
bag?
1-year-old was it?
No. My girlfriend's sister's baby.
Wait, were you?
She was actually really good until like halfway through the movie.
Were you in a movie theater?
Yeah.
Who brought a 1-year-old to the
1-year-old?
movie theater?
Oh, she's actually very good. She does plane rides. She does Disney very well. She does.
Everybody always wants to brag about how good their baby is at not being a dick. And then the story's just like, he's usually very good. In the middle of The Good DInosaur, though, he did start screaming.
Well, the problem is the sound. We did the
that
luxury,
is half the movie.
We did the luxury theater, so the sound's a little more amplified.
The baby
than
was
regular
fine
theaters.
with the video, but
Yeah.
the sound came on and the whoa!
Tiny
loud
eardrums.
noises.
Let's just throw them in there.
Don't bring a 1-year-old to a movie theater. Cut. But either way, so the 1-year-old, that must have affected your movie experience.
It did. That's why I wanted to rewatch it, and that's why I said that it's not gonna be any different that I watched it twice.
Right.
Than I did one time.
That's a good call.
Immediate pun. The dinosaur's name was Arlo, and I thought, this is Arlo of your fault. So the meteor just misses the Earth, right? Like, here's the Earth and here's the meteor, and instead of kapow, 65
I'll
million
do
years
sound
ago,
effects. Do it.
instead of woo, 65 million years ago, it was
Swing.
all right. So here are all the tiny dinosaurs, on Earth, and then you see the comet go by. I got one. And
So they did.
they keep on evolving, and they keep on talking, and they somehow discover agriculture without thumbs.
Basically, dinosaurs are people. People are dogs. All other animals are still animals. You can't see it, but G-Baby told Mark to shut up on his tablet.
So they got this
Hilarious.
farm, a couple of brontosaurs or whatever. They're green. and-
Brontosaurus. Brontosaurus is not a real dinosaur.
Maybe it's a
It was a-
brachiosaur then.
It was
They did have a pretty.
dinosaurs.
It's a patasaurus. It's a patasaurus.
Because they didn't have forehead noses.
Oh. It's a patasaurus.
They didn't sneeze like they did on that kid.
Well, no,
in the other movie.
The Brontosaurus was a mix of two dinosaurs they thought was one.
Yeah, right. Brontosaurus is a fake dinosaur. But I get what you're saying.
They messed up.
It wasn't a
Fair
patasaurus,
enough.
though.
Okay, so they were patasaurs. The patasauri. And they've got a farm, and they're about to have their first litter of kids, and the mom's like, "Hey, Harold," because that's or Henry, not Harold. Harold.
You just default Harold on screaming. When a wife is screaming a husband's name, his name is Harold, and it's being screamed.
So she's like, "Henry, it's time," and he's like, "All right, Enid or whatever." No, it's the chicken's name. This is Enid. I forgot the mom's name, but they have 3
Mom.
eggs, right? We'll call her Mama. And we got 3 eggs, and then the first one cracks and it's a boy. And it's like, "Oh man, he's gonna be strong, just like me." And the second one cracks and it's a little girl, and we're like, "Oh man,
She is rambunctious.
she's so scared.
She
She's
is.
gonna
She
be
is.
helpful though, like her mom."
Oh,
And then the third one is this giant egg.
so big.
What happened with the third egg? How did you feel when the third egg, the big egg, was about to hatch? What were your expectations?
When the father said this is going to be a big one, I knew it was going to be a small one.
Yeah, runty. Runty with an R.
Yeah. Super run.
I wanted the egg to be empty. Like, I thought that's where the sadness was gonna come.
Jesus,
That
quickly?
what? That's up. You saw how fast up went for
3
me.
babies. You were hoping, like,
2
hope
babies.
that babies doesn't exist.
You need tragedy.
Nope, everything stops. What did you just, what?
Explain that word you just made up.
Strategy. It's
You need tragedy.
It's like a tragedy, but for chats.
With strategy?
Yeah.
Chatter.
Hey, Grimlock said it funny in 1986 Transformers.
Either way, let's talk about we'll start to go through the movie. My first thing is, like, it was pretty. It was a super, like, pretty movie.
Okay, so on that note, going back to what you asked me, the first thing, at the movie theater, it did not look as pretty as it did on my television. Everything was way more crisp. I watched it in 3D this time around, and they actually added some 3D effects to people just watching it in 3D as opposed to 2D.
Yeah.
So, like, when the brother was spraying the crops,
Oh,
he sprayed the
drops of water
camera.
and stuff?
He sprayed the camera, and it was actually pretty neat.
Did you guys ever have the opportunity to go on the ride at Animal Kingdom, the Bugs Life ride?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
It did. It was
The
called
wasp
4D.
Pokes you in the
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
And
It was called 4D. Yeah, the wasp pokes you in the back
There's
through your
the
chair,
beard that
and then
tickles under your butt.
you turn around in the chair, and there's like no hole, and you're like, what?
Who did that?
And then the bugs crawl on the bench.
Crazy.
Just air.
Oh, and then like the bug farts, and it smells bad in there. You're like, farts are always funny. Either way.
So they got this whole system put together. They're agriculturing, and they're starting to farm, and their kids grow up, and the one out of the big egg is a run. It's a big stupid run.
His name is Arlo, and he wishes he was better, but she's not. So his family is farming, and they're all doing a very good job. Minus Arlo, who's sort of the anchor of the family and is weighing everybody down a little bit. Do you kind of get the feeling that they were like, Arlo, because of you we might die? Like,
Oh yeah, like in the moments between
was a
Arlo's
little
birth
weird.
and things going awry. Spoilers, they go wrong. It looked like his parents did get visibly older, like during the harvest.
yeah, like they were working so hard because Arlo sucked. And it's not fault. It wasn't Arlo's fault that he sucked.
It's biology's fault.
Yeah, no.
Darwin would have been furious.
There was this one time where Arlo was trying to do his job, and he walks in. By the way, his job is to feed chickens, but he's very afraid of the chickens because Arlo is a tiny little coward apatosaurus. And
They never explain what they did with the chickens.
No, they didn't.
they never know. They did.
Do they eat the chickens?
No, because he turned away all sorts of meat.
I think
Right.
they use them for eggs, perhaps.
I like to
There
think
was
they
no
bartered.
fire.
I like to think they bartered the chickens.
within the economy of the
Like,
dinosaurs.
how many bushels of berries is one?
So eggs are currency? Is that
Yeah,
what you're
exactly.
saying? Like, I don't know.
We just
market's coming.
accepted. We accepted that your sentence was short.
The chickens.
It's like Mark's done. Move on.
So, Arlo Guthrie.
Yeah. So wait. Hold on.
No.
I'm gonna go back to my
Last
point.
time I've got 3.
No, it's.
I'm gonna go back to my point. Arlo was trying to do his job and feed the chickens, But when he walks into the chicken coop, his older brother, Buck or Butch?
Buck. It's Buck.
Yeah,
Bucky,
It's Buck.
Yeah.
Buck's a good name.
Buck, who's like the strong, good type. He's the jock Apatosaurus. So Arlo's brother is pretending to be dead, and Arlo's like, oh my god, like my brother's dying. He's actually dying. And then he stops, like the brother's like, ha ha ha, I'm not dying. Like that was the joke. He was playing on his brother. Like that's a joke people play. Like, ha ha ha, I was being dead. Sorry.
You never pretend to be dead?
Not from my family.
Oh.
Yeah.
I had a different growing up.
You know what though? Maybe in the pool, like face down.
Yes, exactly.
You always face down and see if your mom screams. Arlo doesn't do his chicken job very well. He sucks. The chickens are all like more manly than Arlo is.
Terrified.
So the way that his father thinks to fix this problem,
No.
yes, the way that his father chooses to fix this problem is giving him another job, which is catching a thief. The thief that is taking their corn out of their silo, the corn that is needed for life.
I mean, that's his first attempt.
A wild critter.
Right. But they set a trap, and then when the critter gets trapped, his father's like, this one, you take this big branch and you bam, smash it on the head. And Arlo's face goes like, Did you just say I need to murder something? Because what you had me doing before was feed chickens. Wasn't good at that. How in the world do you think I'll be better at murder?
So
Well, I think we don't know what critter it is, and we don't know about the world.
I don't think it matters.
so
Like
much.
it's a live thing. Arlo has no chance. Like there's no version of this story where Arlo's like, you know what? All of a sudden, I'm not a huge coward. I'm going to murder this thing.
Well, I mean, I know that the beetle could not have been the culprit because there's too much corn gone, but he was easy to whack the beetle.
Well, it wasn't a
He was ready
beetle.
for it. Yeah. no.
It was a human
Child.
baby, little, like, not infant, but like
He's a toddler.
toddler boy.
Like Donnie from that show.
But remember,
Oh,
voiced by
wild
Flea.
thornberries?
Yeah, he was voiced by Flea.
Good by Flea. Good. Look at you
From the
with,
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
with
What's
your,
up?
your facts. The tiny baby
Right.
boy, and as you might recall, adult,
Oh, yeah.
like, humans are dogs. Think of them as dogs. So he's basically a dog with like the corn. He's like, I love corn out of your silo. And he's caught. And then Arlo goes to murder him. But then guess what?
He can't
He can't do it.
This is all predicated, by the way, on the fact that like the dad builds this silo to keep their corn in for the winters, and you know that's his big engineering feat, and he goes to make his mark, to leave his name, much like people do in the great engineering times when people built things like the musical Working.
I don't.
See that window? You remember?
Yeah, I do. You sound like you're 85. When people used to build things.
The boomers were the best generation, baby. Just after World War II.
For those of you that don't know us, we're only 28.
So he's like, you know,
Not 50.
The whole big deal is making you don't get to make your mark until you've accomplished something great.
Right.
And they're like, hey, Harold gets to make his mark, the silo, the corn bin, because he built the damn thing. And he's like, well, no, not till Ma does it because she's the lady. She birthed all you little bastards. So she gets to put her hoof print up there.
Buck's job was to harvest. And
He cleared the field.
yeah.
Buck cleared the field. The sister
Right.
tilled it.
So Arlo's task is to murder.
She was supposed to water it.
No, that was her chore, but her
Oh.
you get your mark was when she finished. She plowed the
Ah.
field.
okay.
fields. So Arlo's new job was to murder this little critter, and then when it came time to murder that critter, he couldn't. And in fact, the critter escaped. The little boy escaped and made Arlo afraid, which his dad saw, and his dad was like, "Arlo, what the shit? Like, what are you doing?" And then he was like, "Come on, we're gonna go into the woods while this awful storm's coming and murder this critter to make you a man."
This horrible dad moment, which
He-
if
like, it
you
was
haven't been able to throw a
overcompensating.
ball, if you've ever messed that up with your old man,
But I do like that they stick to these are dinosaurs. Like they have the personality that a dinosaur would have of like, no, we gotta go. Like it's not This isn't humans.
Should have been John Goodman, by the way.
It really should have been John Goodman.
Voice.
Either way,
Pixar, fix yourself.
they run into like a canyon following this critter who they do not find because Arlo like they're running really fast and then Arlo hits his knee and his dad's like, Arlo, come! And then in that moment he's like, oh no, I've hurt my son. My son, he's hurt, and I've done this to him. And then they're like, we don't. And he's like a good father again. All of a sudden, he's like, we don't need it. We don't need it. And then storm happens, and then it becomes the Lion King. The stampede.
It's just an angry water puddle, like the rhino in the clouds and James and
What?
Peach.
Giant peach.
James and the Giant Peach. It was like that with like snappy teeth and stuff. That's how Arlo got through. Remember that?
Yep. And the big landslide was coming and it was full of water. It was coming for Arlo and his dad. And his dad gets swept away after throwing Arlo up and saying, run, Arlo, run. And he didn't. He kind of just watched his dad die, like Simba does.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
How did his father survive the same thing that Arlo... Well, how does the father not survive the same thing Arlo survived after going after Spot at the end?
Yeah, so it's double Lion King, because that happens twice.
And his father was way taller. I'm pretty sure
His father's way
is
better.
like just...
That happens twice in the movie.
It's just water?
Where a water's coming, it's gonna sweep you away. What are you gonna do? and it's the water is the stampede.
I feel like the
lion.
father could have just stood up.
He should have jumped higher.
I mean, sure, there were some logs.
Yes, there were logs. Also a
logs.
roaring river.
They had elephant feet. They had squishy elephant feet.
Arlo also had a waterfall.
It's Lion King, except Simba is a disabled dinosaur, and the stampede was a river.
It's just bad at
No,
things.
just a runt.
It's
dinosaur.
Lion King with no bad guys.
He's not a very good dinosaur.
There's no Scar. It's just no bad guys.
He's bad at
Lion.
dinosauring
Well,
for a very long time.
We can't think of dinosauring
So-
as we think of dinosauring because they're supposed to be the humans, and we're
Human dinosaurs. Obvious. And then his dad's dead, and he needs to help his mom more than ever to get and to like actually feed their family because the dad who did all the work is gone.
Yeah.
And what he does is he chases the critter again, falls in the river, and gets lost.
Oh god. There's plenty of foreshadowing, little
After his
important
father
lines.
said that river is dangerous.
Yeah, don't go near it.
He's like that if
river-
you can find the river, you can find your home.
And maybe he figured out that river was dangerous when it swept his father away and murdered him.
Yeah, that'll teach you a damn lesson. Nothing like that death fear.
You literally just watched your dad die in the river, and then you're like, you know what I should do? Run towards that river.
Okay, so he gets caught up in like you get the initial angry hate towards this thing that like he uses responsibility.
Avenge my father's death.
By the way, who do you think's fault it
Batman.
is that the father dinosaur
fault.
died?
No, I thought he was gonna like, who does that remind you?
Whose
of? Like,
fault?
Vengeance Batman.
Is it Arlo's fault that his dad died?
It's
I think it's his dad. I think it's the dad's fault the dad died.
Yeah.
The dad was
I think if Arlo could have just fed the fucking chickens.
Right. He should have been able to feed.
Just
the
feed the fucking chickens, Arlo. It's just a dumb gimp dino.
And then it didn't happen well,
I wonder if
and
Harold
now
wishes
he's
that
dead.
Arlo died. Like if he looks
father?
at him. In his last moments before the crushing blow of all this
He's just in the clouds.
thousands of tons of water.
Shit.
Oh no!
Should've
I
been
wish
you.
the egg were empty.
Should have been you.
My family would have been fine if it was...
Never should have been me. I'm way more helpful.
I'm the good dinosaur. Your brother was the good dinosaur.
And
He's
then
not an animal. He's supposed to be a human.
He meets a
He's in
human?
dinosaur form.
it's a human puppy. He meets a human puppy. And then I want to talk about one thing really quick. What's with that one part where they get high as balls?
That was a weird adult moment in that movie where I looked around. There was nobody with me in the living room. I was like, guys, oh.
See, that's the great thing about
Stoned
Pixar
as
is
fuck.
they put some stuff in there for children. It's like, well, that's fun. That's
No.
a cool animation.
They
but
do,
for adults, like
Acid. They're
Getting
doing.
high.
They do acid in the
Getting
middle
high.
of the movie. This dinosaur does acid.
well, some kind of hallucinogenic.
Yeah, it's like mushrooms.
it's-
It's a food. It's food. They get food poisoning. That's like they see the flies and the little animal man sees it first. He looks down and sees like these flies on the ground. He looks up at the trees, the fruit in the trees. He's like, oh man, you see them like those are bright.
We're
fresh
eating the rotten
fruits.
ones.
And he looks at the ground. And we're eating the lowest of.
And then, but
the fruit's hanging so low.
The crazy thing about this is that that's the scene right before the beach family circle scene.
Oh.
We missed something that I would like to talk about.
Yeah, talk about it.
Fucking dive on in, man. Just
Triceratops.
loop it.
Oh yeah, that was just the weird part. It was just a weird Triceratops who was there to be weird.
All right, so the weird Triceratops in the woods is weird for a different reason.
Why?
There were evolved birds.
Debbie was the only one that talked to him.
Those birds would not have been there in a prehistoric age.
Future birds.
Those are future birds
Yeah.
in a just a way back time.
in the present day.
I like that you could not see that dinosaur. The Opteratops.
Oh, when he was in the woods?
He had so many horns. Like he would a 12 ceratops at least. Maybe a 13 ceratops.
Styracosaurus.
A 14 ceratops.
Do you think that
So-
the Triceratops was born that way, or something
He had
happened
like a
to him?
googly eye. He was the Oracle.
He was.
From the Matrix. No. From the... That's just a black lady.
You gotta give somebody a quarter now.
I don't have to do anything.
Every time you say Matrix, you gotta give Keanu a quarter, and you gotta give Gary Busey
Whoa.
20 cents.
Whoa!
Hey, like Gary Busey.
Because it's part of the contract he had for making the movie Point Break with Keanu. He's like, I get so many percent of whatever you make for the rest of forever. And because Keanu wasn't a known actor yet. So that was his breakthrough role.
Really?
Yeah, he made this crazy nutso deal. Like Robert Downey's backdoor deal with Disney and Marvel and like the
Oh,
Avengers.
that he just gets a cut of whatever they
Yeah,
are, not
right?
a salary.
Not a flat rate. It's kind of
So you're saying Gary Busey's kind of a genius?
well, before the accident, now he's got a plate in his head. Now he looks like a monster.
There was an accident?
He got in a bad accident a while back.
We're
a coincidence.
deviating off.
So they bury their stick parents on the beach. In the most, like one of the most emotional scenes of the movie.
Oh, like the scene in Bobby Fischer. No, there's a chess movie where like a kid drops his pawn.
Well, they first, divulged that this is my family. He showed.
Yeah, they communicate.
The child communicates in a way that both of his parents are dead, and Arlo communicates Spot, and then Arlo communicates that his dad's dead, and they bond.
What if it turned out that like
I think Spot's got worse.
I think Spot just speaks like Spanish.
Spot is an orphan.
Speaks Spanish.
I don't think.
I think
I
that
think
if
he's a dog.
If Arlo Guthrie could have just spoken a second,
Just
like
Arlo.
a half a language.
Just Arlo.
Yeah.
Just
okay.
Arlo.
Then I really think
Also-
that's what it was. He just speaking English.
And then right after that, it's when the storm happens.
Yeah.
And the pterodactyls come, who are
Oh.
exactly like the hyenas in Lion King.
They're dickheads. They're scavengers.
There's dickhead scavengers. And I want to point out one thing. One of the pterodactyls
And there was
says...
3 of them.
Yeah, there was, like the hyenas.
Yeah.
One of them might as well have been Cheech.
One was Whoopi Goldberg.
No, there was...
The
No.
hyena.
No.
Oh,
Well, I mean the hyena.
Yes, the hyena, but
Not the pterodactyls.
I'm not gonna go for
I was
this
gonna
one.
say,
No,
holy
none
crap.
of the pterodactyls.
One of the pterodactyls said, and I quote, "I forgot what fear is." Like, I was like, is this a Pixar movie? That's like something Jack Nicholson would say. I forgot what fear
In the Witches
is.
of Eastwick.
well, the storm provides.
The storm does
The
provide.
storm provides.
It's this weird cult.
Dead dinosaurs.
These pterodactyls are in. The pterodactyls follow the storm because the storm makes animals be dead, and they're scavengers, and they scavenge the dead animals.
Which I was on the fence on whether or not they were actually there to help these hurting animals up until he ate that fuzzy thing. Like, they got him out of the little hole, and for just a second you're like, oh, they were just trying to help him like St. Bernards in the snow. And then that teetering moment, the precipice, it was like, no, 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 no. And then the fuzzy rat thing was in his mouth.
What was the point? I'm sorry. What was the point of that? I definitely just went somewhere else.
Then there was another stampede.
Another stampede.
Moving on now.
Which one was
Lion
this one?
King Part 2, the actual stampede. And like
Oh, where they cut to the western scene?
Timon and Pumbaa might as well have been there.
It was so great. Is that where we're
Okay,
going?
And then the T-Rex. Yeah,
Yeah.
the T-Rex happens because they
They
find
save them. That's what it was.
right
The T-Rexes
the
save
three
them.
T-Rexi who are so cool. They're the cool
I don't remember
T-Rex.
their names.
No, one's played by Sam Elliott. That's all I know.
Oh, I don't.
But the
Whose name was Butch, by the way.
Yeah, the T-Rex like
Butch Cassidy.
the T-Rex save him, and then Arlo is like thanks, and then he sees his dad as a mirage, like in Lion King, like
There's a mirage point.
he sees his dad as a mirage. Where are you going?
Go get another beer.
Oh,
I know we're doing a thing, but I really liked that they made the T-Rexes the Rostlers,
explain further.
the cowboy people. So Arlo, Guthrie, and Spot are about to be eaten by the flying vulture dinosaurs, and these T-Rexes come in. They're like, "No, you're not!" And they just fuck their day up, right? Like there's a pink one and there's an orange one, and they just mess everything up with these pteranodons. And then Arlo Guthrie's like, "No, don't eat me!" And they just hold one of their tiny little hands out, and he's like, "Oh man, you almost got eaten. Here, let me pick you on up." And they do have funny like accents. And turns out they're cattle rustlers.
The Rostlers.
They're cattle folk.
I understand now. They are cattle folk.
And then their dad comes up, the big bad T-Rex,
Big bad.
and lo and behold, who is it?
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott.
Who's Sam Elliott?
Sam Elliott.
He's the narrator of The Big Lebowski.
He's the walking dude.
Oh, man.
I'll never be able to do it. I need like
No one
20
will ever
years
be able
of
to do
cigars.
it. He's anti-Ron in Parks and Rec too. He's the
There you
hippie.
go.
He's hippie Ron.
Wow, really? That's
Yep.
Sam Elliott.
That is Sam Elliott.
Yeah, I want him to read my eulogy.
So then pterodactyls attack. Everything goes bad. They attack like multiple times.
And the rosters look at him and they're like, "Well, we're heading towards the watering hole." And he's like, "Well, I need to go to the watering hole." And they're like, "Well, we can't help you get to the watering hole because some rustlers took our longhorns, our cattle, essentially." And my favorite part about them, by the way, other than the fact that one of them was Sam Elliott, was that when they ran from the profile, their upper halves stayed perfectly fine. They jostled up and down a little bit.
Yeah.
But their lower legs were their legs were the parts that moved.
It was
like they
very
were
accurate.
like they were on a
Yeah.
horse.
We ride a dog.
And they managed to give a T-Rex broad fucking shoulders, by the way.
They win.
Blew my mind.
They wrote it down.
And they did. And there was a whole, save the cattle from the cattle thieves and get the hell out of Dodge.
And then they helped him.
they did.
They got Arlo and Spot.
He's learning lessons all the way, by
all
the
the
way.
way. He's
All
becoming
the way.
stronger and
How
not
to
as
yell.
cowardly.
Yeah, I mean, the little child, Flea Boy Donnie, is teaching him how to swim.
Spot. His name is Spot.
We can reveal his name. We can use his name.
We
Spoilers.
get to reveal it.
His name's Spot.
You guys
So-
have refused.
Spotted. Spotty McDougal's
Little jackers.
little Spot gets. They both get back and they see like where their home is from afar. Where, by the way,
Three Clawed Mountain.
Three Clawed Mountain. Because his dad was always just like, follow the river back home. You can always follow the river. And then the river went away. And so he didn't have it. But now he's found it. The T-Rexes have brought him there.
Oh,
And then it's the big boss fight.
I've got a job for you. And he looks up and says, "I'm bad at jobs.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at jobs."
He's not. His
That was very genuine of him.
Right?
his
I'm gonna
inability
mess this up.
to kill
Don't put me in
chickens
charge.
You want me to do this?
killed his dad.
And the worst part is he talked
His
like
dad
trucker
killed his
talk
dad.
to Arlo.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The little
Then
like,
you're gonna
whatever.
climb up that rock
I'm
and raise
bad
the
at trucker
ruckus.
talk.
You just-
All I know is about Flim Flam.
Your example of trucker talk was like blah blah blah, flim flam. Like that's all it was. So now it's the boss fight, and they're fighting the three hyenas again, and
Well, in a different form.
because they steal
Those
Spot,
are raptors with wings.
they steal Spot.
No. those are the same
okay,
dinosaurs,
okay, yeah, okay, gotcha.
They steal Spot, and Arlo's like, heck no.
He has a moment
He has a moment where he has to be like, I'm a strong guy.
where Patrick Swayzesaurus comes back ghost style.
His dad, not Patrick Swayze. Swayzebox Millionaire is dead. I am sorry to report.
He comes back and like, oh my god.
He does.
That's his rapid return. $2 alive.
So they win the fight, and then they're almost home. When from afar
Ow.
they hear a howl. And wouldn't you know it, it's a family of human beings. And Spot's like, oh my, I feel
They look like me.
They look like me. What do I do?
That silhouette is me.
And then they meet Arlo and Spot almost home. Meet the human family who has been tracking them. And then
I didn't even think about that.
Spot
tracked.
That's tracked them.
creepy.
Oh, that'd be like.
And then
Was that the first encounter? Or was it the second encounter?
second encounter with the human.
I want to come back to the first encounter.
Yeah, the first one was a little weird.
Well, the first
So
encounter.
there's 3 in total?
Well, no, there were only 2 with
Arlo,
the
Spot,
other family.
and the humans.
Oh, okay. So now we're at the point where they're.
Yeah, the first time they're howling, and then Spot hears another howl, like a low howl off in the distance, and
They
you
see the
see the
silhouette of the
silhouette of the
guy.
other guy. And he stands up.
And Arlo clearly knew that was another person. Well, not a person.
But this is your Ohana.
Yeah.
Nobody
Ohana.
gets on
Lilo and
behind.
Stitch.
What would you guys have done in that situation?
I'd have gone with the humans.
You saw what he was thinking about.
Wait, no. Would you have pushed Spot towards the humans in the first encounter?
No.
Or would you?
No. At
That's
that
not what
point,
you
at
do.
that point, no. At that point, Spot's my dog, and I don't want to get rid of my dog.
Right, and you heard it in his voice. He's like trying to justify.
The only reason
there's open spaces and there's clear.
So this is
places
what's
to
up.
run.
The second encounter, when the humans come up to them, Arlo realizes that Spot should be with them, and he white fangs Spot. Mark, explain to the camera what a white fang is.
Yeah.
Hey kids, pick up a book. White Fang.
Idiot.
It's when you want him to run away and leave.
Wait, hey, white
I don't
fang
know
me.
what a thing is.
White fang me.
Explain.
Go on and get out of here.
I don't want.
I don't want you anymore. Go on and get out of here.
Well, why is it called?
Why-
Go on and get out of here. I don't want you anymore. Go on and get.
I don't understand why this is happening. And everybody's sad.
So he's up in
Wait,
the.
hang on. The book is called what? There's a book.
Yeah,
called-
there's really. It's not just
Thank
like
you.
a girlfriend move.
I'm not.
I don't want you anymore.
I'm not very learned.
Yeah.
So I am
Learned.
not. I don't even know.
You're not learned. It's like turned, but with learning.
I'm not very
Why don't you
learned.
turn it up at the end.
White Fang. At the end of White Fang, he has to get rid of his dogs.
And Airbud, by the way.
Dog or dogs.
They
Hey.
do it in Airbud.
Hey, focus. Focus in for a moment.
Which Airbud?
All of them. Everyone. So he has to get rid of his dog at the end of White Fang. He tells his dog to get out of here because he knows it will be better for the dog. The point of White Fang is the person who's telling you to leave knows it will be better for you, and it
But
hurts
they don't
them.
want you to go.
And they don't want you because they love you.
killing them.
They love you, and it kills them inside. But they know it's the sacrifice.
It's the only way you can fly.
So Arlo, White Fang, Spot. And Spot goes with the humans.
See, I think I would have done that in the first.
No, it's my dog. I'm not just
no,
giving away my
he's
dog because I
still
found
a
other
kid.
dog.
He doesn't know no better. Arlo Guthrie, he's a child still. I mean, yeah,
Stop
he's
calling him Arlo Guthrie.
He doesn't have a last name.
You don't know that it is Harold Guthrie and the Guthries?
I don't
Mr.
know
and
what
Mrs. Guthrie?
I don't know what the Apatosauri's last name is, but I'm just not gonna.
exactly. It'd be the dinosaur's last name. Because you give
Arlo Apatosaurus.
your dog's last name. Your last name.
So
You
you said
don't
a
have a last
surname.
name.
So they win the boss fight. Spot goes with the humans. Arlo's incredibly sad, and then he runs home. And from afar, his mother sees him and doesn't think it's him for a moment. She does the Arlo. A mother recognized her child that
mistook him
she
for the husband.
thought that she. I think she knew it was Arlo. She thought Arlo was dead. She thought a mother believed to be dead comes back out of nowhere. The emotions. The emotions. Did you not feel those emotions?
No, not at that moment.
I felt those emotions.
I thought of the rib crushing collision that would have happened when those two giant dinosaurs actually made contact. Because she squints. She sees like Arlo Guthrie under the shade of the tree.
They're not human bones. They're mammoth. They're big bones.
Did you almost say
Big
mammoth
bone
bones?
doesn't mean anything. Big bone is just a
G-Baby
lie.
almost called Apatosauri mammoths.
I mean, mammoth is used for a term as a giant thing.
That's the truth.
Not often. And then that's the end of the movie.
So it turns out that Arlo was a good dinosaur all along. By the way,
Sorta.
the people that
Well, no, he was a bad dinosaur.
Hey,
well, it was a terrible.
so would you recommend The Good Dinosaur to your friends and your family?
Having just watched it, I give it a go. I laughed at points like I had adult laughs.
I cried.
There were enough voices that
I did it.
Like really, when when Harold was talking earlier, Elliot looked at me and was like, "Oh man, you know who that should be?" And I went, "Sam Elliott." I went, "Yeah, Sam Elliott."
Should be, and
and
then
then where?
out of nowhere.
Yeah, left dinosaur field. Sam Elliott, Saurus Rex.
Right.
Listen, I give this 156. I believe that this is a good
Out
movie.
of what?
I believe this is a good movie, but I don't think it was just like...
Stop. 156 out of what?
What's your scale?
Does there need to be a...
Yep.
No.
Oh. Then it's just invalid.
It's a good movie. I just don't think it was like
I'm glad I didn't
overly
spend money on it.
fantastic.
It's one of my-
I feel like it's not on the scale.
One of my
like
least
Toy
Pixar.
Story or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to see.
Ooh.
I don't
There
want to
you
see.
go.
One of my
There you
least
go.
favorite Pixar films.
I don't
for
wanna
sure.
see it.
It was good, but it was like...
And as
It's
Pixar
not-
movies go, like
Yeah.
every Pixar movie that has been out is up in like my top 50 movies.
We can do an entire another
My issue
podcast
is
on top
it was
5 favorite Pixar movies. by the
My
way.
issue was it was a cookie cutter.
It was
They've established a
Hamlet with dinosaurs.
Yeah, they've established a story arc, and they just went with it again, just with different.
It was worse than Lion King.
But it was really good. I enjoyed
It was good. It was super pretty. The water, the things they're doing with water CGI
Yeah.
these days
I'm glad you
is
mentioned that.
cray dog
So,
millionaire.
in the theaters, I didn't get that feeling of like, oh, this is amazing. Like the details are so crisp, and I think it's because I sat closer to my, television. I probably sat at the proper angle for the size of the television, size of the screen. But yeah, it was way better at home than it was in the theater.
Is it the 10?
Yeah,
15? You're using a 15-year-old for this?
And that was The Good Dinosaur.
What were yeah, wait, yeah, you said it was your least favorite.
It was my least favorite Pixar movie, but Pixar, I like every Pixar movie. So, like, I don't hate any Pixar movie. They're all pretty good.
they're good. I just feel like this was too much of a cookie cutter.
I wouldn't watch it
Didn't
again,
push
but it's
any
worth it.
bounds.
It's worth it. It's fine.
I
For the prettiness, for the firefly scene.
the
Maybe
landscape was absolutely gorgeous.
there were a couple of points where it made me think of Tall Tales. I don't know why. I just thought Tall Tales.
No, that's a movie.
Tigers?
You haven't seen Tall Tales, have you? It's
Alright,
a dope
so-
movie.
It's 2016. I bet a lot of people have not seen Tall Tales. You need to watch Tall Tales. We need to rewatch Tall Tales.
I haven't watched it. Alright, so
Thank you for coming.
thanks for coming. Please like, comment, or subscribe on the
Where was it?
the YouTube. And let us know what you guys want us to watch next.
Yeah, comment down below on Facebook or on YouTube and tell us.
Because Ryan
All
picked
this
this
stuff.
one.
I
and
did.
He has just bad ideas.
I
So
do.
we would like
That's
you
true.
guys to let us know what you want us to watch. Really, just anything. We will go out and buy the movie and watch it.
Watch
Or-
it sober.
Fine.
Get drunk. Talk about it. Verified podcast. Cheers.
Cheers.
Stupid dinosaur. More like it. I am very drunk.
Cut.